This is how a group can sell 10 million records and be broke.
The story of TLC is one everyone must know.
You have to go trust.
That's why contracts don't work.
Well, have you lost, even as a spiritual person, lost trust in people?
Oh, no. I've lost trust in contracts.
It is a facet of the industry Prince experienced firsthand, plus the influential recording artist Georgia's own Little Richard dealt with as well.
The music industry is more snakier and more than the streets.
Understanding how they recruit stuff and understanding about their masters and understanding who you pay back or how to get paid.
The legacy of Screen Rappers Over is a deal some artists aren't even aware of.
Because the mantra of walking all over recording artists is a practice that stretches generations. So how did one of the most successful groups of all time become an example of injustice in the ever so cutthroat industry of music and entertainment? With 4 career Grammys, 5 MTV Video Music Awards, and 5 Soul Train Music Awards, t-bonz, Chili, and Left Eye are legends in their field. They were pioneers with their signature look, style, and hit records like Waterfalls, No Scrubs, and Creep. The 320-something women from Atlanta, Georgia owned the 90s, wrote The Guardian. Big facts on that one. But they were also owned by a record label.
So what that means to the younger musicians that are growing up is they're able to pull from here, pull from there.
That's where we introduced Babyface.
That's one of the major differences, that they want our work.
And his other half, L.A. Reid. They were signed to LaFace with the distribution work being done by parent company Arista Records.
When you're quiet like that, no one knows, so that's why we're telling it. We're not telling it to get anybody in trouble or to make anybody mad at us. We're just being very honest and truthful.
When they spilled the tea, the LA Times did their part. The trio has received less than 1% of the estimated $175 million in revenues that the group's music has generated around the world. Analysts say that's about 40 times less than the profit that has been divided among the management, production, and record companies that represent TLC. Because of the intentional mishandling by the record company, TLC filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on the heels of selling 11 million copies of their album Crazy Sexy Cool. Thing is, it wasn't just TLC. 7-time Grammy Award winner, 14-time nominee, legendary recording artist Toni Braxton, another signing of LaFace Records, filed for bankruptcy. Although she generated millions in revenue, she was, per the Greensboro News and Record, broke. Here's how it happened. TLC signed a contract in '91 that pays the group about 7% on the sale of each album, or about 60 cents after the company takes contract deductions. TLC was not paid a single cent till after the company was reimbursed for cash advances spent on recording, production, promotion, and tour support. Analysts say that breaks down to about 20 cents per album that the 3 TLC members get to split as profit. Like Dave Chappelle, Prince, and De La Soul, TLC signed the contract. L.A. Reid discovered TLC in Atlanta, Georgia. Once he was in tight, he strongly advised them to sign with Perry Pebbles McKissick, who lo and behold was married to their manager, L.A. Reid. She married Reid in '89 and created her own label. She managed TLC for several years, but was sued by the group in '95 for mismanaging funds and paying them only $50,000 each in '93 and '94 when the hugely successful Crazy Sexy Cool album came out. Rolling Out reported, after all the costs, TLC took home $35,000. Here's what's accurate. They were underpaid for what the money they brought back into the label. One of the great lies in the music business is when an executive tells an artist during negotiations not to worry about contract details and promises to renegotiate later, Greenspan said. This is not just a problem for TLC, it's a problem for every unknown artist in the industry. Once you sign on that dotted line, you are at the company's mercy, said attorney Eric Greenspan, who represents such acts as Stone Temple Pilots and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Although the royalty calculation is often thought of as the most important part of the recording agreement, the fact remains that most artists never see any royalty money. The deductions in the royalty calculation resulted in an amount credited to the artist's account that is much lower than simply the royalty rate times the total income from the record. Record contracts are rarely directly profitable endeavors for artists other than the portion of the advance that the artist keeps. The typical pop star often lives in debt to their company and a host of other entities, and if they hit a dry spell, they can go broke. Michael Jackson, MC Hammer, TLC, the danger of debt and overextension is an old story. Akin to legendary hip-hop artist De La Soul, TLC also used crowdfunding website Kickstarter to fund their most recent album. Injustice is an understatement. It is the multifaceted approach to selling artists a pipe dream while simultaneously squeezing them for every cent they have. The bitter disputes, the bad blood, unfortunately, it's all par for the course.